Hey everybody, the Johnny Cage here, welcoming you back to a brand new LP. This time, as some of you have guessed, we are playing StarTropics, a game so very much like The Legend of Zelda, yet so very different at the same time. Made in 1990 by Nintendo, and it's hard to believe that they just kind of up and let this series go. I mean, there's no third party involved here whatsoever. They just said, we're done with StarTropics, moving on. They ran with the Legend of Zelda series, and sadly, this one was kind of forgotten. As here we get a picture of Sea Island, where we will be doing some of our early work in the game. They did make a sequel to this game, though. It wasn't completely forgotten. They made Zoda's Revenge at the very end of the NES lifespan. It was actually the second to last game to ever come out for the NES. But it really was kind of a step down, as far as I've heard. I've never actually played the game, but I've heard that it's a step down. Didn't really do anything for the series. So here we go. Let's start out. We got our name in. Chapter 1, The Prelude. One day in summer, you land at Sea Island, where Dr. Jones has his laboratory. So we get a nice little overworld view of Sea Island. Not much to see here. In fact, the path directly takes you to the first village that we have to go to, so let's go check it out. How's it going there, buddy? Welcome to Coral Cola. So we're at a place called Coral Cola. Let's see what this boy has to say. Mike, you're an ace pitcher right here. Show me how to throw a fastball sometime. So, yeah, that's your job. You're a 15-year-old boy named Mike who's the captain of his high school baseball team, an ace pitcher. Hopefully that will come in handy with dealing with some of the stuff that we have to deal with later on in this game. Another thing, too, that you're going to notice right away is that you kind of have to talk to just about all the villagers in these towns to progress. You don't have to do it in this first town, but later on you have to move forward, and it's kind of annoying, especially if you're playing this for the second time. Your Uncle Dr. Jones is a nice guy. Last week I met him. He was very busy solving some strange puzzle. But it's not too big of a deal. I'm just kind of, just figuring out what these people say. They mentioned the Southern Cross, which is kind of like some sort of religious monument almost to the people here on the island. But I think without, well, let's see, I guess we can talk to a few more people before we go into the big hut to the left there. I have to hurry. I'm going to roast a pig for your welcome party. Oh, really? Is it this pig over here? Let's talk to Mr. Piggy. Oink, oink. Oh, and then we get some pig butthole. Great. You know it's going to be a good game when you get pig butt only 10 minutes in. Not even. Alright, so let's go talk to the chief of the island. What does he have to say? Ooh, he gets a scene all to himself. Mr. Shirtless no wonder here. I've been waiting for you. I'm Chief Coral Cola. Listen, Mike, I have some bad news. Last night, try not to be too upset, but your uncle, Dr. Jones, has been abducted! We must keep this from the islanders so they don't panic. You are the best hope of rescuing Dr. Jones. I don't know what to do. Can you help? Of course we can help. Take this island yo-yo. You may think this yo-yo is just a toy, but it's very powerful. You're an ace pitcher. Use it. So we get a yo-yo. That's right. This game's a lot like The Legend of Zelda, only you have a yo-yo. And be careful about those monsters. Don't let them get you. Mike, the fate of your uncle is in your hands. Find a tunnel in the village and hurry to Dr. J's laboratory. I don't know why the guy had such an Indian accent. That's all I could think of at the moment. I don't know if I'd be any good at doing a Pacific Islander voice. So after you talk to that guy, you can go over here, and this guy suddenly is like, oh, hey, you're Dr. J's nephew. If you talk to him before going to talk to the chief, you wouldn't be able to go here. And whoa! Out of nowhere! I'm the shaman and sister. Your uncle has been abducted and found a secret in this lost ruins. I have great hope that you will succeed in rescuing Dr. Jones. Just like your North Star, island sailors look for the Southern Cross. Mike, many wild monsters await you in the dark below, but remember, the magic of the Southern Cross is always on your side. Alright, so it's just like a way of navigating. It's not a religious monument at all. And it's been a while since I played this game. Now saving your data. That's nice how the game does automatically save from you. So this is a screen you'll be seeing a lot. This is us actually in dungeon mode. And it's kind of confused. Like, it takes a learning curve here for how Mike walks. If you hit pause, I like how it gets all miniaturized and puts up a pause sign. But he kind of moves just really poorly, in a sense. It's something you have to at least get used to. There's a learning curve to how he moves, because he has to move on a grid. He doesn't move like Link, where it's not on a grid. So there's a little bit of a learning curve involved. There's a star. Actually, I got another one already. If you get 5 stars, you get a heart back. As you can see, just like in Legend of Zelda, we start with 3 hearts. You can push the A button to jump, the B button throws your yo-yo, and you can jump over 1 gap of water. No more, no less. And you might as well get used to seeing these green panels, because you're going to be seeing a lot of them. Oh, epic jumping yo-yo hit on that snail guy there. As you can see, there are panels like that where you get a footprint on it, and it reveals a switch. And that's how you do a lot of these rooms in this game. You know, it's kind of tedious puzzle solving, but the puzzles do get fun and a little tricky at times. So, I don't think they're that bad. They're not like Lufia 2 puzzles where they're just really, really tedious, at the very least. Oh, these rats can be a little tricky. They take 2 hits to kill as well. So, we'll just jump on to these platforms. You have to hit the A button. You can't just walk onto them, which is a good and bad thing. It's a little annoying, but at least you don't accidentally fall into the water. If you fall into the water, it's your own damn fault, unfortunately. So then we come across another room for a couple rats and some snails here. I hate these rats because they kind of like stop and spin around, and then you don't know what direction they're going to go, and they just make like a charge right for you. Speaking of enemies that charge right for you, you'll be seeing my little hint coming up pretty soon for how this game was most related to Zelda. This room's a little tricky, actually. Want to take care of these 2 guys, and or that 1 guy rather, and then you'll hit those 2 switches, and the left and right doors will open. But it's a trap. You really want to go up. Actually, a lot of these dungeons have a lot of traps, where if you go the wrong way, you'll just get kicked right out of the dungeon and have to do it all over again. So they can get really annoying. Definitely a good idea to have some sort of a walkthrough. And in fact, I actually have the walkthrough to this game in an old issue of Nintendo Power, which I will be using later on when I forget completely where I'm going. Always nice to have a good old issue of Nintendo Power lying around. Bust on this at the NES. Play it through the magazine. That's old school way of doing it right there. Before the internet. Well, I guess we're not in any danger of losing any health, so we might as well grab those stars. As you can see, we've gone over 5 stars and then it reset to 0. But not a big deal. So hey, don't these guys look a little bit familiar? Yeah, I know the sprites aren't exactly as I remembered them, but that was my hint, was that the ropes in Zelda look a lot like the snakes in this game. And that's the one thing I remembered, and, you know, it was a pretty good segue, I think, from one game to another, so I just ran with it. Go up there, hit those switches. You've got to hit those switches to reveal this wall. And then you come over here, and whoa, wait, another Zelda reference? Yep, it's the red potion. The red potion at this point will completely heal your health, but, and use it as much as, well, use it as much as you want. Use it. You know, don't think too hard about using it, because when you leave this dungeon, you don't take anything that you got in here with you. I didn't even mention the flares that I had just gotten before. You can see next to the yo-yo. If you hit select, you'll choose those. In most of these dungeons, there's a weapon like that that's primarily supposed to be used against the boss. You could use it against these enemies if you want to. Oh, this rope's giving me trouble here. Ooh, oh, that was close. Alright, yeah, since I got 2 red potions, I might as well use one. Hit pause, push down, and then the A button, and that's how you use them. And that actually kind of confused me at first. I really had no idea what I was doing. The first time I played this game, like, how do I use the red potion? So difficult to figure out. But all's well that ends well. At least we didn't die. That would have been very embarrassing to die in the very first episode. Oh, we got some keys. Although I'm sure they're not actually keys, but any enemy that doesn't move on a grid in this game is pretty difficult. You also only get like about, not even a second, like half a second or so of invulnerability after you get hit. So keep that in mind. And here's our first boss, a big old snake guy. And this guy, pretty easy. Just push select to put on your flares. You should have 50 of them by now, although you could probably get by with just 25 against this guy. He'll open his mouth, and most of the time he shoots fire, but sometimes he doesn't. It's kind of strange, but if you want to stand there like that and just be all like cocky and just throw fire at him, ooh, but he can't hit you. So keep that in mind. I guess we'll have to use our second red potion, but not a big deal. Like I said, we don't carry them back with us. Of course, it just jumped right back into his line of fire, though. Alright, come on, you're probably close to dead. I don't remember you being that hard. Very simple first boss. The bosses in this game, unlike Zelda, are actually really difficult. So, don't think that you're going to have an easy end to these dungeons. These dungeons are pretty tricky, all in all. I've got to say, I will be dying definitely a few times in this game. You know, I was lucky to only die once in Zelda, but this one, oof, I don't know about my chances. So we took down the big snake guy. Little quick switch pushing right there, and boom! There you go. There's our staircase of happiness, leading us right out, and then we get a "Wow, you've done it" message, and we rack up those useless points that mean absolutely nothing in the long run. And now saving. I gotta say once again how I love the fact that this game saves your game, you know, very frequently. It's very convenient. Go down here, talk to this guy. "Hi, I'm Babu, Dr. J's assistant. Mike, you know Dr. J has a submarine called Sub-C." "Do I? The ID code to start the engine of Sub-C is 1492. Memorize the ID code. That seems a little unnecessary, but alright. "Please get on board Sub-C in the laboratory. I wish I could tell you more, but I'm afraid of... I really don't know what he was so afraid of. I don't know why he couldn't tell us more, but... Alright, I'm sure we'll figure it all out. Let's check out the submarine, shall we? Oh, look, it's Rob! Yes! We've got Rob on our team! In the cockpit of Sub-C. Welcome on board! I am the navigational computer of Sub-C. Call me Navcom. Yeah, whatever you want, Rob. Input the ID code now. ID code 1492. Engine start. Aye aye, Captain. Sub-C is ready to launch. All ahead full. Now, the thing that I love about the submarine is that seriously looks like the Planeteer's ship from Captain Planet, does it not? It looks like they just got that, like, in some sort of a junkyard somewhere. Couldn't afford for the fuel to make it a ship, so they've just slapped a propeller on it, and now we've got that. And we're on our way to Chapter 2, the Dolphins, after a few hours of voyaging, but we're gonna have to check out what happens in Chapter 2 next time, guys. This is it for the first episode of StarTropics. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the Johnny Cage. Please subscribe, comment, and like if you have not. And I just want to say a big announcement, actually. I'm gonna be on Skype from about 9 o'clock to whenever, this Friday night. At about 9 o'clock, that's Central Standard Time, and anyone that wants to chat with me about anything, LPs, video games, life, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna be there. My username is the Johnny Cage, spelled exactly as it is here on YouTube, and I know it's a Friday night, and people go out and do stuff on Friday nights, so, you know, if you're not available, that's fine. If you just want to add me as a contact, and if you ever see me on Skype, feel free to drop me a message, because I love chatting with you guys about, you know, whatever, because, you know, it's really fun for me to build more of a community. You guys aren't necessarily my fans, you're just friends of mine that are nice enough to watch my videos as far as I'm concerned. So, if you have the time on Friday night, I'll be here 9 o'clock sharp, CST, and we can talk about whatever the heck you want. So, until then, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to all of you tomorrow.